Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my first video on YouTube ever. I am a massively disappointed Germany fan, and I feel like I've been let down by my team for the first time in my life. And I'm going to take a look at the Germany campaign at this World Cup. And obviously I'm going to break down what went wrong to the team, the managing staff, etc. And let's start with the team. If you go to my Twitter page, you can actually see my player ratings, and I've been struggling to rate most of the players. Of course, I have only rated the ones that have been playing. And let's just go quickly through it. I've rated him from 0 to 10, 0 obviously being the lowest rank and 10 the highest. And Neuer gets a 6 for me, just because I think he was good, given the fact that he was out for, I think, more than half a year. He has struggled here and there, mainly, for example, with the free kick against South Korea. But it has been refreshing to see his wide throws back at Germany, and obviously he was at fault for the second goal against South Korea, but honestly, who cares? So I've given him 6 points. Plattenhardt, he has only played one game, and given that it was his first game on that level, it was not that bad, but he just isn't at this level, and I've given him 3 points. Hector was good. Hector came in this second game, I think, or maybe the third, and he was pretty good. Defensively, he was solid. Maybe he could have been better going forward, but I still have given him 7 points. Kimmich, now I've given him 5 points because of his high expectations, because of the high expectations for him. He has been massively overhyped by media and the fans, and he just couldn't live up to it. Defensively, he was a few times too slow, and going forward, he was not the force that we hoped he would be. But his crosses did manage to find a head or two of some players, so I've given him 5 points. Boateng and Hummels, you can't criticize him for their mistakes, but honestly, they only have made mistakes because of their DMs, because they put them into the pressure. And they've saved our butts often in this campaign, especially Hummels against South Korea and Boateng against Sweden. So I've given both of them 7 points. Süle and Rüdiger, I'll give 6 points because each, because I think they were solid. Had a few insecurities here and there, but all in all, given that it's the first World Cup, it's good. So 6 points. Obviously, they didn't initiate as many attacks as Hummels or Boateng did. Khedira is, for me, by far the worst player in the squad. In the first, let's just take Khedira and Kroos together. I've given Khedira 1 point out of 10 and Kroos 3. So let's start with Khedira. Khedira, he was a total failure. A total failure in the first match. He gave the ball away for the goal. He didn't track back, or he didn't try to run and tackle the opposing players. And none of his passes reached his own players. Almost none, of course. Same goes for Kroos. I think Kroos relied on Khedira to do the dirty work for him. But they run at a pace of a 70-year-old woman learning how to jog for the first time. That's how fast they were running back or tracking back and trying to stop counterattacks. And that's really the only two jobs you have as a DM. That's avoiding counterattacks and dictating the pace of the game. And Khedira did nothing. Kroos did did it, but only for one half. That was the second half against Sweden. But other than that, he was poor. The only reason he has 3 points is because of the goal. That's honestly the only reason why. Gundogan was not really better. He had I think he just played one half or something like that, and he was not convincing. So I've given him 2 points. Actually, I should have given him 3, but who cares? Rudi played well for the 20 minutes he was in. 7 points. He wasn't breathtaking, but he was not bad. So 6 to 7 points. Goretzka played longer than him, but he was not as good as I had hoped him to be, as he was in the Confed Cup, and he had one shot on goal, I think, his header, and that's it. So 5 points. Brandt was dangerous every time he came on. I think if you add it all together, he maybe played like 20 minutes, maybe even less, and he was so dangerous in it. I'll give him 7 points, but I feel like that's already way too less. I should give him more, but who cares? 6 points for Reus, because Reus was good. He was probably the best field player that was playing constantly, but against South Korea he did nothing. So for me, that's only 6. Özil and Müller both 2 points. Poor. Of course they played key passes and they were not as bad, but honestly, it's a World Cup. They didn't turn up, and for every good pass, they played like 5 very poor ones. So 2 points for them. Draxler, I can only give him 1 point. I love that he looks for the 1v1 situations, but he loses them. And he plays, I think, egotistical for my mind. You can play like a total ego, like Arjen Robben, if you're good at it, but he just isn't good at it. So 1 point. He gave the balls away. He made the attacks slower, if that's even possible. Gomez, I've given 6 points. I think he was very good, actually. I was surprised by him. The only reason he isn't higher is he missed a huge chance against South Korea, and we could have progressed if it wasn't for that chance. So Werner, he was not as bad. I just think he was played out of position. I don't think he should have played on top as a striker against defensive first-minded team, against teams that you can counter against. Then you could have brought him on as a striker. But in this World Cup, I would have played him as a winger and Gomez up front. And ultimately, if, for example, Müller had 2 functioning wingers and 1 real striker, he would have been better. So I have given him 6 as well. Ultimately, the worst player, in my opinion, was Khedira and then Kroos, because I don't know, man. Kroos just infuriated me with his behavior when it came running back to trying to stop counterattacks. So we can pretty much agree on the fact that Germany as a collective was a complete failure. It was a disaster. And do I think everyone should now retire? I don't think so. I am more rational and more code thinking when it comes to these kind of things. I think some players have to go. I think Khedira has to go. I think Özil has to go, and maybe for the next games, definitely Müller. And if he doesn't improve at Bayern for the next 1 or 2 seasons, then he should be dropped immediately. Not immediately, but forever. And Gundogan maybe, but he hadn't any opportunity to prove himself. And Kroos, not because I dislike him, it's just by his own logic. he should not retire. He was so quick to criticize everyone after the Brazil friendly, and now he should take responsibility and say, you know what, that's it. But obviously, I like almost all of those players. I do not want them to go. I just want them to wake the hell up and realize what they have done. And the rest, Löw should really try and play more players from the Confed Cup squad. And now let's go to Löw. I think many people would give him 0. I am not that reactionary when it comes to the manager. I've given him 4 points, mainly because I think the lineups were not as bad. Yes, in my opinion, he did something that he never has done before or had done before, which is drop his favorite players if they don't perform. Özil played bad, dropped. Khedira played bad, dropped. Müller played bad, dropped. And that was the right decision. Only his substitutions were like... I would have given him like 7 or 8 points, but his substitutions that for me just didn't make any sense. Bringing Brandt on so late in the game, after he had shown in the first game that he is very good, and subbing Hector off for Gomez, I think it was, against South Korea, when Hector created or was offensively better than Özil in my eyes. So that was a bit strange for me. So 4 points for Löw. Should he retire? I have been defending Löw for the past God knows how many years now, but I just cannot say that he is the ideal man for the job right now. Maybe if we had another co-coach or a co-manager or anything, any movement or change in the training staff, then maybe he could stay. But otherwise, I would suggest that he should leave for his own sake and for the sake of the country. And wow, that sounded very dramatic. Okay. But the problem is we don't have any alternative. Who should take the helm? Should it be Sammer, I've heard, or should it be, I don't know, Heinkes? But I don't think that would ever happen. So I don't know. Maybe someone can tell me. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. But it's just I'm so disappointed on how they played. I don't mind us losing. Of course, I mind us going out in the group stages. But if the team honestly fights for the fans, for the country, and you just can see that it's just not working. I just remember a quote from Andi Brehme. He said, wer Scheiße am Schuh hat, der hat Scheiße am Schuh. Oder, yeah, something like that. So if it's not working, then it's not working. And if it would have been like that, okay. But they just seem arrogant and slow, and I don't know. That wasn't Germany for me. So I think everyone has to question themselves. I am massively disappointed. We Germans are have the very specific characteristic that we get arrogant way too fast. And then we're like, oh, fuck it all, we don't care about Germany anymore. And I can say that because I love Germany, I love the DFB team, I love everything around it, maybe except the board. And it hurts just so much, and I just wanted to get my 2 cents on this topic, and thanks for listening. I don't know if I will ever do a video again. I think I did a poor video. But yeah, 15 minutes is about okay. And maybe I'll use it as a way to practice English again. As you can probably hear, I haven't spoken any English in months, really, maybe years even. Thanks for listening, and leave likes. Oh no, forget the likes, just leave some comments on your opinion. And yeah, goodbye.